When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
11:37 on this Friday edition of the Elias Macko Show. At the beginning of September, Urgences-Santé was given the green light by the Ministry of Health and Social Services to launch a pilot project. The project, in the form of enhanced triage, will be used as a tool to ensure the safety of patients, alleviate staffing challenges, as well as finding appropriate care destinations for patients who are not in need of the ER. Now, tremendous resource on this program is Hal Newman. He joins us once again. He's got decades of experience in emergency services, and now he's the journalist behind The Last Ambulance. Hal, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Elias.
So, listen, I sort of feel a vibe that, and I follow you on social media, on Twitter. I kind of sort of feel a vibe that this is a positive, good news story from Quebec and Urgences-Santé, and I'm enthusiastic. So why don't you tell us your take?
So my take is that this is a really positive piece from Urgences-Santé. They're the folks who took the initiative. I think it's a great move, long overdue. And yeah, it's very positive. I think that, we need to look at where they were really just a few months ago, where we had, a gentleman in LaSalle who died while waiting 11 and a half hours for paramedics because his call was triaged as a low priority call and there was no follow-up. And so I'm impressed, actually. I think that it's a great idea, and I love the concept of sending paramedics out to reevaluate patients to see if they're really stable and to see if they could go to an alternate care destination. So maybe we're even looking at possibly starting to affect overloading of ERs. So
and Hal, listen, you've been on this show before, and sometimes you will stop yourself on this program and apologize for being such of a downer, And to have you on here with a positive development here, to me, it's great news. Can you tell us what you know about how this pilot project even got the green light and where the idea came from?
Yes, it's interesting. So the idea has been germinating within Urgences-Santé. I've had a few off-the-record conversations with people who work there. They've been talking about it for a few months. I think it's really born out of necessity. They were looking for, this coupled with they initiated a protocol recently. Don't forget, Urgences-Santé only serves Montreal and Laval. So while I'm very upbeat and very positive about this news for the metropolis, this is a program that should be implemented across Quebec, and if I'm allowed to be a little negative, is that the reason it could be implemented in Montreal and Laval is because Urgences-Santé is a government-owned corporation, and across the rest of Quebec, it's a patchwork of private enterprise. So implementing across Quebec is a stretch. Urgences-Santé, this is born out of necessity. And this coupled with they created a protocol where their paramedics, if they're transporting a low acuity patient to an ER, because the patient insisted on being transported there, they can now, as long as the patient meets certain criteria, they can actually move that patient into the waiting room of the ER and leave and go back in service. And so that puts more paramedics on the street. So these are positive developments. And I got to tell you, the rest of the week has not been pretty for pre-hospital care. So I'll take the positive where I can get it.
We're with Hal Newman from thelastambulance.com if you want to read Hal's writings on Urgences-Santé and other paramedic services in the province. So Hal, you just brought up the negative here. So let's put a little reality in everything else that's happening. So why don't you give us the lay of the land with everything else that's happening and the latest developments there?
Sure. So in 2020, there finally was an advanced care paramedic degree program initiated at the University of Montreal. Much celebration across the land. Finally, paramedics could do a university degree, come out with an advanced, and then presumably provide advanced care. And then the Minister of Health suspended funding for said program, and now admissions have been suspended for anyone who's trying to get into that program. So one step forward.
Why was it suspended? Why did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. When I contacted the University of Montreal, they said, the government was reconsidering the role of advanced care paramedics. And I thought, okay, well, maybe there's some hope there. And then so I contacted the Minister of Health, and they threw the University of Montreal under the bus and said, yeah, no, we just didn't get back to them about their funding requests. And more of same. And then the story that I'm working on right now for the rover, which is pretty mind-blowing, is that yesterday someone who had a serious injury in Granby, they called 911. The police arrived, and the police transported to the ER because 51 minutes later, there were still no paramedics on the scene.
Wow.
So we take our good news where we can get it,
yeah.
And we celebrate that Urgences-Santé is taking a step in the right direction. And we hope that, work conditions for paramedics will get easier, and that this new program that they're bringing in will affect positive change for patients and for paramedics and for ERs.
And Hal, before I let you go on the pilot project, back to the pilot project, how long is this pilot project? Do you know? And how will they determine if it's a success or not? What will be those parameters?
It's pretty cool. So they've been running it on a limited basis for a few weeks to gather data and tweak the protocol. And by their own admission, the protocol right now is not perfect. And they're tweaking with data, so it's based on science, which is beautiful. The plan actually is to roll it out on a much larger basis. So I expect that their benchmark for success will be when they can roll this out across Urgences-Santé. Right now, they're running it with I think they have 55 paramedics who signed up for this program, and they're going through the orientation for the first 10 or 12 of those now. So it's really interesting. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm positive about something.
Well, that's great to hear, Hal, and I'm sure we'll get an update from you eventually on the pilot project. Thanks so much for coming on the show this morning.
Thanks so much for the privilege. Take care, Elias.
You can find Hal Newman's writing at thelastambulance.com.